The delicate sound of a music box playing a lullaby, which suddenly grinds to a distorted halt. The sound of a single piece of paper being unfolded, crisp and loud. It was tucked away in a place she was never meant to look. A secret, folded and forgotten. But fate has a way of revealing the truths we are not prepared to face. And for Catherine, Princess of Wales, the words on that single piece of paper did not just break her heart. They shattered the very foundation of the life she had built. What she discovered was not a random note. It was a letter, a confession, a window into a part of her husband's life he had deliberately kept locked away from her. And the contents were so explosive, so personally devastating, that it triggered a complete and utter emotional meltdown, witnessed by a horrified staff member at Adelaide Cottage. A single, haunting piano note that hangs in the air. This is the story of the hidden letter that brought a future queen to her knees. A story of betrayal, a broken promise, and the moment the perfect royal facade cracked beyond repair. To understand the sheer force of this collapse, you must first understand the image. For over a decade, Catherine Middleton has been the picture of poised perfection. The steady rock. The woman who weathered media storms and family crises with a serene smile and unshakable composure. Her marriage to William was portrayed as the monarchy's great fairy tale, a partnership built on love, respect, and unwavering mutual support. She gave up her entire life, her privacy, her autonomy, for this role. For him, she mastered the impossible rules of royal life, endured endless scrutiny, and bore the pressure of being the future queen consort, all on the promise that they were a team, that they were in this together, a united front against the world. But that promise, we now know, was built on a foundation with a secret crack. A crack that, with the discovery of this letter, split wide open. The sound of a drawer sliding open. The rustle of old documents. The discovery was accidental. Catherine was reportedly looking for a specific document related to one of her children's schooling in a private, locked desk that William rarely uses. In a hidden compartment, tucked beneath a false bottom, her fingers brushed against a single, unmarked envelope. The letter was not recent. The date placed it in a specific and deeply painful period of their lives. A time when Catherine was at her most vulnerable, navigating the intense isolation of early motherhood and the relentless pressure of royal life. A time when she leaned on William more than ever. The letter was not recent. The date placed it in a specific and deeply painful period of their lives. A time when Catherine was at her most vulnerable, navigating the intense isolation of early motherhood and the relentless pressure of royal life. A time when she leaned on William more than ever. And the author of the letter? Our sources confirm it was a person from William's past. A former love interest, someone he had assured Catherine was a closed chapter, a forgotten part of his history. But the letter revealed a different truth. It spoke of a lingering connection. It contained confessions of regret about their paths diverging and intimate reflections that crossed the line of mere friendship. Most devastatingly, it was written during a period William had specifically described to Catherine as one of his total and complete commitment to their family. The date on the letter proved that was a lie. In that moment, Catherine wasn't just reading words. She was watching the trusted narrative of her own life disintegrate. The sound of a stifled sob, then the crash of a small, delicate object shattering on the floor. The reaction was not one of quiet tears. It was a torrent, a primal scream of betrayal that echoed through the walls of their private home. A staff member, hearing the commotion, entered the room to find the princess in a state they had never witnessed. She was inconsolable. This was not the poised Princess of Wales. This was a woman whose entire world had just been vaporized. The source describes her as hyperventilating, unable to form coherent sentences, repeating, "How could he?" over and over. The composure she had maintained for over a decade, through every crisis, evaporated in an instant. The betrayal was multifaceted. It wasn't just the emotional infidelity suggested by the letter's content. It was the deception, the deliberate hiding, the fact that he had looked her in the eye during that difficult time, professing his support, while secretly holding on to this tangible link to another life. He had broken the one rule that mattered most in their gilded cage: absolute honesty. For Catherine, this was more than a marital crisis. It was a professional and personal catastrophe. She had built her entire public identity on the strength of this partnership. If that was a lie, then who was she? What had she sacrificed everything for? The sound of a phone ringing incessantly, then being ignored. The immediate aftermath was a palace in a state of emergency. Kensington Palace has gone into complete lockdown. First, the silence. Catherine has reportedly refused all of William's calls. He was away on a pre-scheduled engagement when she found the letter and has since rushed back to London, but he is being met with a wall of silence. She has, for the moment, completely shut him out. Second, the withdrawal. All of Catherine's public engagements for the foreseeable future have been quietly cancelled, citing a sudden, private family matter. This is not a diplomatic illness. This is a woman who is emotionally incapable of facing the world. Third, the king's panic. King Charles has been informed. For him, this is a nightmare scenario. The perfect Wales family narrative was the cornerstone of his slimmed-down monarchy. Its collapse threatens not just a marriage, but the stability of the entire institution. He is desperately trying to mediate, but is powerless against the raw hurt of his daughter-in-law. The epicenter of this earthquake, and the only thing that matters to Catherine right now, are their 3 children. She is fighting to protect their world from collapsing, even as her own lies in ruins around her. The sound of the lullaby from the beginning, now slow, distorted, and sad. The question now is, what happens when the fairy tale ends? Can this marriage survive a breach of trust of this magnitude? William is reportedly desperate for reconciliation, but words are no longer enough. He must prove, through actions, that his wife and children are his only priority. He must dismantle the walls he kept around this part of his past and offer a level of transparency he never has before. For Catherine, this is her crucible. The woman who entered that room was a princess defined by her duty and her marriage. The woman who emerged is something else entirely. She is a woman betrayed, a mother lioness. Her tears were not of weakness, but of a profound, world-altering shock. The hidden letter didn't just break Catherine Middleton. It may have forged a new, more formidable and independent version of her. One who now knows that in the world of royalty, even the most perfect palace can hide the darkest secrets, and the crown has never looked heavier. This is a deeply personal and developing story. The palace will likely never comment, but the damage is done. What do you think William must do to save his marriage? Can trust be rebuilt after a discovery like this? Share your thoughts with respect in the comments. If this story has touched on a personal experience for you, remember that support is available. We have linked a reputable relationship support charity in the description below.